It's Monday. We were red on Mondays. It's Monday. It's after Raw review. They go home show. Let's get into it. Like Gunther and Balor put on a hell of a show, and Priest comes down and beats the hell out of him. Zayn stands tall over Breaker. Punk, Seth Rollins, and Drew McIntyre pretty much lay the ground rules out for that match. But today we're going to start though with the Judgment Day, of course. And there's been a lot of Judgment Day side stuff all night, and a number of Judgment Day matches that went on tonight. Start off basically with Judgment Day. They came to their locker room, or they call the clubhouse, in the middle and start Raw, well, after a certain segment. And it's all vandalized. And the only person that could think of that probably did it, they were like, well, who did this? Who did this? Rhea just goes, look, it was most likely Liv. She's hugely pissed off. Liv later on the night cut a promo about how she's upset with Dom. She hates Dom, and she's going to complete her whole, I'm going to ruin Rhea Ripley, and my revenge tour is going to come to an end. And she's going to ruin Dom and everything and all that stuff. But moving back to Judgment Day, the funniest part about that whole thing was that Carlito only cared about the PS5. He didn't really care that anything got vandalized. Like everything got torn to hell, spray painted, X'd out. Except the only picture that didn't get X'd out was Balor's. So there's a little snippet for it. A little bit of maybe possibly foreshadowing going on there, possibly to see what's going to happen at SummerSlam. But we'll find out maybe that's going to happen later on or not. So they're all talking about it, right? Balor pipes up, we got to take care of this whole Sami Zayn, Jey Uso issue. And Rhea's more or less like, no, we're not going to do that yet. We don't need to know why. We need to focus on SummerSlam. That's what's important. Balor gets a little offended by that. Whereas Carlito's like, well, I have an idea. I'll go make a match. So he goes to Pierce, gets a match for Dom. So it comes back later on in the evening, where it's Keith Dallas that Carlito says it's going to be Carlito, says it's going to be Dom versus Sami Zayn, and Carlito will be taking on Jey Uso. Carlito didn't really care about that too much. He didn't really want to do that too much. Wasn't a big fan of it. Because, well, Jey Uso is basically, Jey Uso. And we'll get to Jey Uso too in a bit, because Jey Uso had a hell of a match there, and a little bit more foreshadowing what possibly might be happening on at SummerSlam as well. So Priest, Dom, and Rhea and Balor, they're all in the back there just before Gunther versus Balor that night, which was an amazing match tonight. Absolutely phenomenal match, though. It was as cool as seeing Gojira open up the Paris Summer Games. If you guys got a chance to watch that and you're a metalhead, go take a look at that. It was absolutely amazing. They did it in front of this French castle that apparently Marie Antoinette stayed in and got beheaded at. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. Lots of flames, too. Anyway, Balor basically says, you guys are going to go alone at SummerSlam. We have to focus on this. They're right. And I'm going to soften up Priest and soften up Gunther for you. Let's kick off to that match. Then Gunther comes up to the match. Hell of a good match. It's two guys who really know what they're doing, who've been around the world, and know how to put on a really good show. And they really just went toe-to-toe, back and forth, beat the hell out of each other. A lot of impressive big moves coming out of there. At one point, Balor tried to go for the coup de grace. He missed it. Gunther ended up choking out Balor, getting him in a chokehold. Everyone knows that Gunther doesn't really have a finisher that much. He tries to do the powerbomb once in a while. Also, but also could beat you with like a submission or something. He's very versatile. So he ends up choking out Balor. Balor doesn't really make the 3 count, doesn't gets his hand raised, is out like a light. He went to sleep. He just completely went to sleep. Right. So Gunther gets his hand raised and proceeds, instead of just leaving the match like he would normally do, he decides to add insult to injury and starts choking out Balor some more, which prompted Damian Priest to come out. And Priest, after that, to hit right after Gunther, and they just started brawling, beat the hell out of each other. Priest looked like he was getting the upper hand until Raw went off the air. That's pretty much how Raw ended, from what I can gather. I used to cut out on my feed. So looking at this match right here, it's kind of hard to tell who is going to be the one walking out. Normally, Wesley Logic, somebody in one of those matches does get laid out. It pretty much means the guy usually stands tall is not usually the victor. but it's kind of hard to tell. It's almost like they don't know what they want to do here. So I'm thinking though right now, Balor is going to cost Priest. Balor seems to be very offended as of late. A lot of things that Priest has been doing. He's not really like more, even though Priest is trying to put the best direction of the club in front of everybody, Balor doesn't seem to like where they're going with this. He's not taking care of other things that need to be taken care of. So, my opinion on this right now is that Balor is going to cost Priest at SummerSlam. So, we should be interested to see how this goes. Now, I don't think you really need a title for this match, but title wouldn't help. Title wouldn't be too bad at all either. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Balor do a run as a WWE champion. Let's be honest. All right. So later on that match there. Other matches that occurred too. Carlito versus Jey Uso. Jey Uso, also another fun match there. Carlito basically was dominated for the most part of this match. They cut to commercial break. They come back. Carlito's dominating the match at this point there. Eventually, Carlito gets out of his apple and is trying to literally pull his old gimmick out, basically, spit in the face of people who want to be cool. Carlito then doesn't get a chance to do it. Jey Uso basically hits him with a very Roman Reigns-like spear and spits out his apple midair. Jey Uso gets the 1, 2, 3. Jey Uso ends up winning. Not a really good night for the Judgment Day. After, right? So, like I said, they're foreshadowing, though. It looks like they were pushing more towards Roman Reigns. Cut to the next Judgment Day match, which was Dominic Mysterio versus Sami Zayn. Also, really good match. So it shows how much Dom really has grown as a competitor and as a wrestler. He's doing a lot more moves, taking a little more risks. He's also in there with Sami Zayn, who is very well versed in a lot of things as well. At the end of the day, the match did get broken up, got DQ'd, where the Judgment Day came down, which was basically McDonough. I started attacking, and they ended up beating up Sami Zayn for a little bit, which prompted Jey Uso to come out again to help Sami Zayn. Once again, more foreshadowing going on. Uso ends up hitting a spear, very much like Roman Reigns, onto JD McDonough. So, ends up clearing the ring, and they believe that basically a fight out there. They're crawling out. At this point, there, Braun Breaker comes out and attacks Sami Zayn, beats the hell out of him. Now, Braun Breaker put a promo earlier, even say he doesn't hate Sami Zayn by any means. He just wants his title. He wants what he feels that he deserves. And judging by how this turned out with, as we say, wrestling logic, Sami Zayn ended up getting the upper hand on Braun Breaker after Braun attacked him. Ended up laying him out to the floor. Braun basically just kind of going away, where Sami stood tall the IC title. Probably you're going to see a new Intercontinental Champion here at SummerSlam. I wouldn't be surprised. Quite frankly, it's probably time to crown Braun Breaker your IC champion. Now let Sami's go on to what we think is probably going to be the return of Roman Reigns and a reformation of the original bloodline in some capacity, even though everybody's kind of on separate shows. And we're going to see what goes on from there. Because as I said, Jey Uso is using that Roman Reigns spear. And when I say it's a Roman Reigns spear, Roman has a particular way to how he does his spear compared to other guys. Braun Breaker kind of just rolls you over, same with kind of similar to Bill Goldberg's. Edge's was kind of more or less like he kind of jumped and he kind of put down to his knees. Reigns, on the other hand, kind of just jumps almost like he's flying at you like a bullet. So it hits you right back. So they're all very different spears when you think about it. If you really look at the spears, they're also very, very different. Roman's in particular was very similar. Jay's in particular was very similar today to Roman Reigns. So my guess is Reigns is coming back at SummerSlam. What role he plays in it will be questionable. I don't know yet. I couldn't tell you, but we're going to find out what Doug thinks on our prediction show, which comes out in a couple of days. We'll be doing that probably on Thursday, popping up for Friday. Hey guys, also make sure if you like the content here, make sure you like, share, subscribe down below. It's a small click for you guys, a massive click for us. Make sure you follow us as well on Podbean, Spotify, and all the other podcast platforms, as well as other platforms like TikTok and Twitter. Right? DA Sports, DA Wrestling on Twitter, and DA Sports on TikTok. Andrew at DA Sports. Thanks very much for subscription. We all love you guys. Thank you very much. Moving on to the part that opened up the show. CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Drew McIntyre. Arguably the biggest match of the entire card this week as for SummerSlam, minus the Cody versus Solo Sikoa match. Where do I start with this one? Well, let's start off with this one. Seth Rollins comes out to open up the show, dressed in a very, very flamboyant-looking referee's attire. Goes in there, speaks to the crowd a little bit. It says, "You know what? That's enough of me talking. Bring out the morons." So, see, the first moron shows up. That's CM Punk. He comes on out. Huge reaction. Despite how you feel about CM Punk, folks, this man is more popular than a lot of other wrestlers who probably should be popular. And it's just a testament to the work he has done in his career, the things that he has done in general, and what kind of a person he is as far as the wrestling business goes. You may not like him for some of the things that he has said or done to other people in his career, but you cannot deny what CM Punk is to WWE or to wrestling as a whole. After that, Drew McIntyre comes out to, of course, some boos and some cheers. He's kind of that in between. There's a lot of people that really enjoy Drew. There's a lot of people who really don't like Drew because of the stuff with CM Punk. I personally enjoy Drew McIntyre. I think he's hilarious. I think he's probably the best troll on Twitter you can think of right now. There's not many people out there who are better than Drew McIntyre, especially if he's been trolling the way he's trolled CM Punk for the past 7 months. It's absolutely hysterical. So, cut to the ring. So, they're about ready to start talking, and the first thing Seth Rollins says is, from Adam Pearce, he reminds them both, you are not allowed to touch each other at all until Saturday. Punk also says, also, you are not allowed to touch me at all. CM Punk then rolls out of the ring. And this actually offends Seth Rollins. He's like, whoa, there's all about you, Mr. Punk. Seth says, like, CM Punk's like, no, I'm just staying away here because I can't guarantee that I'm not going to do anything. So it's better to stay out here and be safe. Seth Rollins more or less explained it, and Drew pipes in as well to get back in the ring, because if you don't get back in the ring, I could very well just take this, go out of the back there, tell Pearce I don't want to do it, because the only reason why I'm the referee right now is because no other referee wants to deal with you two. So I'll go back there, take the referee shirt off, say I'm not going to do it, and you're not going to have your match. So get in here. So he gets in there, and Seth basically kind of just says, listen, these are going to be my rules. And there's really only one rule. Don't touch me or provoke me. Doesn't really care. He's going to be very, very, what's the word I'm looking for here? Referee's discretion, he's described it. I don't care. If you go to the floor, I might count to 10. I might count to 20. I might count to 1,000,000. If you get a chair, I might just turn my back. He's basically saying it's going to be pretty much a no-holds-barred match for the most part. He's not really going to care what it is. But he did state very well, too, that if you do touch him, he is not a referee that's going to cower in fear. He is a vindictive. He's a very, what's the word I'm looking for here? Spiteful man, and he will stomp your head into the ground. His words, not mine. So Drew basically says, Punk and Drew basically like chit-jawing back each other. Punk basically just says, listen, Basically, like, I'm not gonna, I'm gonna do whatever it is. I'm not gonna care. Drew just flat out says he hates CM Punk. He blames Punk for absolutely every single thing that happens. He blamed him for losing the title. He blames him for everything that happened in Glasgow, right? Whereas Punk Reader is saying, blame him for everything you want. But I have more people cheering for me in the past when I was here for 10 years. More people cheered my name. Seth Rollins is here. Everybody cheers him. Basically, Drew, you're the third wheel. That's something nobody wants to see Drew. He's insinuating here. He says that Drew is stupid. And if he thinks that CM Punk is his worst nightmare, well, his worst nightmare is actually Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre is his own worst nightmare. And I think a lot of us have said this before, too. The way the character is playing out with Drew McIntyre is that he is one of those characters right now that blames everybody for their faults, even though it's his own fault. Which Drew's response was to pull out CM Punk's special bracelet, which almost provoked CM Punk to do something. And you knew this was coming. You knew Drew McIntyre was going to try to provoke CM Punk. You just knew it, especially after it said last week, you can't touch each other. There you go. We all saw this coming. It was going to happen. And that was basically the end of this. That was basically the end of the segment after that. Punk's music came on. This match is looking very, very interesting. It's hard to call who is going to win this match right now. It's very, very difficult. I couldn't even tell you who is going to win this match. I have no. Part of me wants Punk to win. Part of me wants Drew to win. But I'm wondering. I said to Doug last week, my the DA colleague, that is it possible that we're going to see something very similar to the Hell in a Cell from WrestleMania a number of years ago, at the end of the era match, where Shawn Michaels was the referee and got involved emotionally, causing kind of both guys to kind of lose and screw each other over. Because Punk mentioned that, you go, if you're gonna screw me over, you're screwing me over. I can't deal with it, but I'll deal with that on Saturday. Whereas like Shawn was very, very emotional, played a pivotal part in that match. So I'm wondering if that's what's going to happen here. If CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, and Rollins are going to be one big cohesive story that goes on during the entire thing, with Seth playing a very prominent role into who will win. Right now, you got to lean towards possibly Seth, probably leaning towards maybe having Punk win. And I say that because earlier in that segment too, Drew McIntyre was comparing him and Seth, saying, we just want the best for the company. We all this, it's rivalry, but I don't hate you at all. Whereas Seth replied to Drew saying, no, I hate you. I can't stand you. So it's wondering there who he hates more as far as the story goes. Who does he hate more? So we need to see what goes on at this match as well. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to this match completely. I'm sure if this was like next year and they're doing the 2 SummerSlams, you gotta figure a match like this magnitude would probably headline one night for sure. At least that's what I think. It'd probably headline at least one night. Other things that happened on Raw, because there's a lot that went over here as well, folks. So we finally got a match between Otis Tozawa versus the Creed brothers, along with Chad Gable. Now, this match here, it was a fun match, right? It was really a way to show the Creeds off a little bit more, that they're involved with Chad Gable. Now, the Creeds won in a very, very interesting way. They kind of like double suplexed Otis off the top rope and just made the pin. Not a way I think that would actually happen. And Cesaro could have made the save, but he kind of just did. He kind of stood there like with the pure shock. He's like, oh my God. So, which led to the Creeds holding up Otis and Chad Gable taking his licks in, which caused Maxine Dupree to jump in on Gable and basically slapped him, and he started going. It looked like he was about ready to go at Maxine until we started hearing the boo, boo, boom, the Fireflies come out. The WYATT come out. The WYATT come out of consisting of Eric Rowan, Dexter Lumis, and Joe Gacy. They came out and they took their masks off. Very different looking now. Joe Gacy looks like he's definitely let his hair grow a lot more than what it was. Rowan still looks the same for the most part. But Lumis has grown his hair out, has dreads now, and has an X now painted in black on his forehead. Dexter Lumis actually had his own therapy session, if you want to call it, video played tonight too, where he actually spoke. Mind you, it was dubbed a lot too, but it was pretty straight and simple, like run. But no. So they basically attacked the Creeds. Chad hightailed it out of there. They took the Creeds out in a way that so they each one, Lumis and Gacy both took out each Creed. Then Rowan went off cover with that two where he just side-bodied himself, very similar to what Bray Wyatt used to do, like an ode to Bray Wyatt. And then Joe Gacy power bombed Dexter Lumis onto both of them, taking them out completely. While Chad Gable's walking to the back, scared and all stuff, Uncle Howdy starts coming out and starts laughing while Gable runs the other way. So next week, though, we got a chance to see him finally get physical. But next week, a segment later on in the night, Gable goes up to Pierce and says, I know who these guys are. Pierce's sister goes, yeah, they're assigned to the Raw roster. What do you think, man? And Gable's response was, well, I want to challenge these guys to a match and show them who's boss. Take care of this business. This is WYATT business. Pierce made sure, asked him, are you sure you want to do this? Like, yeah, okay, it's official. So next week on Raw, we're getting the WYATT versus Chad Gable and the Creed Brothers for the first match back on Raw. I was looking forward. This looks like an interesting match. It's going to be probably a big highlight of the match. Hopefully, it goes over very well. I'm sure it will. So far, everything that these guys have done had a lot of rave reviews. So, but that's interesting though, that we're finally getting this match. It's been several months since these guys have started coming up. Now it's been a month now, or so, and now we're seeing it. So it looks like they're ready to go. And I'm sure that Gable and the Creeds are going to lose there, which is kind of like a bummer for the Creeds and Gable, considering it's a new faction that we're kind of have here now. That they're going to get almost like fed to the Wyatts. But, I mean, we'll see what happens next week. I mean, I can't tell the future of that one, but it sounds like it's exactly what is going to happen next week, that they're going to get fed to the WYATT. Sheamus versus... They haven't announced Sheamus versus Pete Dunne yet. But they've pushed more towards it. Tonight, Sheamus fought Bronson Reed in a match with two big boys going at it. Sheamus trying to be as sinister as he can, just giving the 10 shots of the Bowery on Bronson Reed a couple times with a sinister look on his face, just pounding him. Sheamus was about to go for the bro kick, whereas Pete Dunne came out and hit him with a shillelagh. Why is it always a shillelagh? Like, I understand I understand Sheamus is Irish, but Jesus, Pete Dunne ended up take something Irish and shillelagh. I mean, unless it's an English thing too. I'm not too sure. Like, please let me know if it is. Comment down below if it is. I could be wrong. I probably am. But anyway, so he sits there, hits him shillelagh. Bronson Reed comes off with the tsunami, gets the 1, 2, 3. And Pete Dunne is going, just basically sitting there smiling. So I'm waiting for this match to happen. Now, last week they had Sheamus have a thing saying, if you want to have a talk, sit down and go down a pint, have a talk about it, or we're going to fight about it. Challenge never answered. My guess is he's not going to challenge. Didn't get answered this week either. So we're going to see what happens. I'm surprised they haven't tried to put this on SummerSlam yet, or maybe they're going to do it next week on Raw. But I'm looking forward to seeing this match. I'm looking forward to see heel Pete Dunne. If heel Pete Dunne is as good as he was in NXT when he was heel Pete Dunne before he left and came back from his injury, we're good. Heel Pete Dunne is very, very good. It's exciting. Backstage 7 also with Selena Vega, talking about how she is going to be, how she is a threat to the women's title, how she wants to be the women's champion. She's going to show how determined she is. and how threatening she can be until the team of Sonya Deville, Zoe Stark, and Shayna Baszler comes in and basically hurts her some more. Puts her arm against the door, kicks her arm into the door, hurts her arm a little bit more. And later on the back, they see Lyra Valkyria with, I call him the after party, but it's Chance and Carter, right? Out there, they end up having a match with those three girls later on. So later on in the night, we're getting Chance, Carter, Lyra Valkyria. I'm still not fond of this group, but it seems to be becoming more and more faction dominant. I'll explain in a second. So, especially in the women's division. So these three girls go up against Sonya Deville, Shayna Baszler, and Zoe Stark. It wasn't a well received match for the most part. I mean, these girls are working hard, right? It's just, I don't think it's clicking as well as it maybe should be. Zoe Stark ends up getting Katana Chance with that World Z finisher she has. It's almost like go to sleep. Gets the 1, 2, 3. By the way, Zoe Stark also came in with a new hairstyle, looking nice. That got rid of all the blonde, has a little streak of blonde now, and she basically dyed it like brown or red or whatever kind of colors. I don't know. I don't dye my hair ever. So after the match is over, Damage Control comes out. They can obviously, they're back from Japan, from the tour of Japan. They came out and they attacked him and laid that girl out. Now we seem to have almost like a women's stables going on in Raw. So we have Valkyria, Chance, and Carter. We have Damage Control, and we have the team of Deville, Baszler, and Zoe Stark. So we have three different factions now for these women, three groups of women. I'm wondering next what's going to happen next with this, if they're going to start, because I know there's a small group on SmackDown as well of Naomi, Jade Cargill, and Bianca. Now, obviously, I've said my piece on Bianca and Jade Cargill on SmackDown's episode review and talked about that on our talk there on that episode. And I still think that's going to happen. I'm wondering if they're going to have a trios group. Each women have trios. So I wonder if they're going to end up doing this. It's a possibility. I'm not too sure if that's the direction they're really going, but it seems that's to be the case right now. When you look at Damage Control, the Sonya Deville group, as well as Valkyria, Chance, and Carter. So I'm interested to see what goes on with this. So, but at least this gives the women something to do. It gives them TV time. It gives them a lot of things. A lot of these women are very, very good. I'm still hoping for a Shayna Baszler singles title run here. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm still hoping for, holding out hope for it, because I hope it does. Because you know what? It is. She's a phenomenal wrestler, and if you do the stuff she did in NXT, then you're golden with Shayna. You could sell places for this. You sell tickets. I guarantee you she could sell you out tickets. That's all I gotta say about that. I don't know how to say about it. I just do. We also got an announcement too. Because since the WWE is in a theme nowadays for the past number of years of having hosts. They like that, hosts for big events. This year, for SummerSlam, since it is in Cleveland, they're playing with the Cleveland, having SummerSlam where the Cleveland Browns play. Woo-ha. Yeah, football season starts, by the way, soon, guys. Can't wait. Looking forward to it. So that means this is coming back soon. That's right. The Cowboys are an Oxnard right now. But anyway, The Miz will be now the host of SummerSlam. We brought in R-Truth saying, "Oh, you're going to host like a party? Hors d'oeuvres, snacks?" No, it's not saying that. Eventually, the Miz ended up deciding he's going to bring it up. It was a pretty funny segment. But yeah, The Miz will be the host of SummerSlam this year. It is in Cleveland. A little shocking that he doesn't have a match, though, considering it is, yes, he is a Cleveland boy, and it is in Cleveland. But, I mean, he could be injured for all I know. I don't know. They haven't really said anything about this. But it's a good possibility that he is injured as of right now. Let's see. What else do you have going on today? No. So, no, nothing. That was basically it for Raw, guys. That was a whole bunch of Raw. Go home show for Raw. All in all, the home show Raw was a good show. It lends itself to some answers and some questions going into SummerSlam, especially in with the CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, and Seth Rollins issues. The Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley's almost seem like Liv is going to lose that title, but I'm still thinking she might actually win that title, keep that title still. But then you have the Priest versus Gunther match, where I think Balor is possibly going to have something to do with it, at least on the outcome of that match. I mean, for all we know, Balor could very well cost Gunther. I don't want to put that out there yet to you, but it's a possibility that Balor does cost Gunther. It's not hard to not see that, to get that shot at Priest. But it's more likely that Balor is going to cause Priest to lose. At least that's how it's looking. I mean, it's, you know what, it's SummerSlam, it's several. I'm sure this is going back and forth several times there in the back rooms of the WWE headquarters. So who knows what's going to happen there. But yes, guys, SummerSlam this weekend. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited for it. SmackDown Go Home Show will be on Friday in Cleveland. So we're getting 2 title matches on that one as well, guys. So it'd be interesting to see what goes on over there and how that will shape the rest of SummerSlam. So as of right now, SummerSlam to me is very hard to choose almost to see who's going to win this. So predictions will be coming. We'll be doing a prediction show with Doug. He'll be back from his little moving vacation. And we'll be doing predictions on DA Wrestling for SummerSlam and what's going to happen with that. We do it on Thursday. Hopefully we'll post that on Friday, sometime on Friday. All right. So other than that, guys, like I said, football season's around the corner. It's exciting. Like I said, Cowboys are on our side, right? I know the Chargers are where they're supposed to be. I know everybody else is going where they are right now, right? By the way, though, Tua Tagovailoa getting $212 million. What is that? What is that? Makes no sense to me. And Jordan Love's contract as well also makes no sense to me. At least Jordan Love's contract is a little more justified, considering he got to like the NFC Championship game last year. So that's a little more justified than Tua's, but hey, it's the NFL. Anyway, guys, that is it for the Raw episode review. Go home show, SummerSlam this Saturday. Looking forward to it. Comment down below, guys. Make sure you like, share, subscribe down below. Thank you very much. Have yourself a wonderful evening. And remember, we were red on Monday nights. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.